Patrick Maswich. The New York State Police is currently investigating an officer-involved shooting that occurred in the vicinity of Ellsworth Boulevard in Malta, New York. I want to remind everyone that this is an ongoing situation and the information is preliminary and subject to change. At this time, I will provide a summary of the incident. On Thursday, April 10th, 2025, at approximately 8:53 a.m., troopers and deputies responded to the report of a physical domestic dispute that occurred in an apartment within the Ellsworth apartment complex. On arrival at about 9:04 a.m., an individual involved in the dispute, later identified as Brandon R. Moore, age 37, who resides in the unit, refused to cooperate and barricaded himself in the apartment. Law enforcement was advised he may have access to firearms in the unit. At approximately 10:37 a.m., while law enforcement personnel were attempting negotiations, Mr. Moore exited the apartment with what appeared to be a handgun. Law enforcement members instructed Mr. Moore to drop the firearm. Mr. Moore refused to follow the multiple commands and aimed the weapon at state police members and deputies. At that time, the troopers and deputies fired their department-issued firearms, fatally striking him. 2 troopers sustained minor injuries during the incident. Investigators have examined the weapon displayed by Mr. Moore and determined that the weapon is a CO2-powered BB pistol, which was found to be loaded at the time of the incident. A photograph of the firearm is displayed in front of me. Building number 2 of the Ellsworth apartment building was evacuated out of an abundance of caution when law enforcement arrived prior to the shooting. We are currently working closely with the building management to resolve this and return residents to their homes. This incident was unfortunately complicated by a sprinkler system activation in the building, which will require flood mitigation to an unknown number of apartments and has made the building uninhabitable at this time. Notification has been made to the Attorney General's office, who has responded to the scene. State Police want to extend our sincere thanks to Sheriff Zerlo and the Saratoga County Sheriff's Office for their assistance at the scene. The Troop G Public Information Officer will be providing additional updates as they become available. And at this time, I will take a few questions.
Major, can you elaborate on the domestic incident that preceded the shooting? Perhaps injuries to the woman that shared the apartment with Mr. Moore?
Absolutely. So, as I stated, the call was for an active physical domestic violence incident. I can tell you that the victim in this case did sustain non-life-threatening injuries prior to law enforcement arrival.
Who contacted authorities?
That at this point is still being determined at this time.
And how are the officers doing?
They're doing well. The 2 troopers sustained non-life-threatening injuries, and they've since been released from the hospital.
Are these the same officers at all involved with yesterday's incident as well?
No.
How were they injured?
That we're trying to determine throughout the course of this investigation. Hopefully, we'll have that information in the near future.
Do you know how the sprinkler system was set off by the subject?
We're trying to make that determination through our investigation.
You know, police-involved shootings seem to be an oddity. How off the charts is it that 2 police-involved shootings in the same community on back-to-back days?
I'm sure there's a very low probability of this occurring back-to-back in a small rural upstate community, but the fact is that it happened and we're addressing it.
What concern is there about the officers who are involved? It's got to have some emotional impact on them.
Absolutely. Speaking personally, I didn't take this job. I took this job to be a public servant and to positively contribute to the community in which I'm raising my family, and that sentiment is shared by all law enforcement personnel. So to be confronted with this, although they signed up to serve and protect, this is extremely traumatic to the people that are involved in this incident, and we're providing resources to our members, and we have our employee assistance program to ensure that they're getting the assistance that they require during this very stressful time.
And Major, are you able to speak about what, if any, police record Mr. Moore may have had? Is it familiar to authorities here?
Yeah, I can't speak as far as a criminal past, but I can tell you that Mr. Moore has had contact with the New York State Police in the past, yes.
Was it legal for him to possess that weapon?
Again, we're trying to make that determination through the course of this investigation, and that information will be forthcoming.
Were any other weapons found in the
The investigation is ongoing. It's my understanding that investigators are still processing the scene, so that's yet to be determined.
And just to be clear, although it's extremely realistic, that was a BB gun.
Yes, that is correct.
Does he have any more family up in this neighborhood, or is he just solo up in here?
I know he has family out of state, but I can't speak to any family members that are local. No, I can't.
And just to be clear, was it boyfriend, girlfriend? Were they married?
I'm not going to get into those definitions. I can tell you it was a domestic relationship.
And, I'm sorry, did you give the age?
His age, I believe I said his age is 37.
At her age? Do you have
The victim's age, we're not going to release at this time.